The Surfing Violinist presents Ben Gravy at Seascreamer Point, Surf Vlog 27. My morning surf reports from Mr. Surfs ended up getting me on a new schedule of early mornings filming, photographing, and surfing, paddling, skimming, or swimming. It was a great way to wake up and start the day, and was the first step in me finally doing something I've been meaning to do for years: make the beach my gym. And as a lover of creeping, crawling, floating, and swimming creatures, it was also a great way to remind me how beautiful the little things are in nature just down the road when I'm usually too preoccupied to pay them mind. One of the longest running and most consistent Panama City Beach surf reports is run by Phil, and we bumped into each other quite a few times prepping our surf reports or paddling out for a session. On one occasion, he even photobombed me with the stand-up paddleboard paddles he sells at Mr. Surf's. Prank product placement could become a new tradition for us. At some of the beaches, I've discovered very friendly cats, who have now made appearances as Surf Report Kitty, offering their professional assessment of the conditions.
Surf Report Kitty says, "Victory at sea."
One of the B-plots of my surf reports was the curious appearance of a pair of Portuguese man-of-war jellyfish in the partially filled exposed gun turret. They became lovable supporting characters of the surf report for a few days until they were unceremoniously written out by the surf, a moment I immortalized with a cheap laugh.
And I have a sad announcement to make. The Portuguese man-of-wars that were manning the gun turret have been washed away. There were mascots for like a week there on Instagram. Got us like an extra 1,000 views because of that clickbait thumbnail. Well, we got a new shipment of XL skimboards.
Inspired by the sketch comedy work by Mangrove Surf Shop with their Friday funnies, I dipped my toe into a bit of comedy in that same surf report.
Well, we got a new shipment of XL skimboards, including 4 new Blaracudas, and we got some Zap Cazadors. 3 new Zap Cazadors just came in the door.
The big news in March was a stroke of such serendipity it would be hard to believe if the whole strange tale hadn't been so well documented. For decades, the Redmond family has been giving tourists a Gulfside view of our world-famous white sand beaches from the deck of their impossible-to-miss Seascreamer. The Seascreamer is a big boat, and it throws a big wake. Local musician and surfer Garrett Hine and Captain Cody both surf, and they started tapping into the wake on flat days, scurfing it, and even surfing it. The family had always noticed certain spots along the coast in St. Andrews Bay where the wake would morph into a slabby, seemingly endless point break wave. Chief among these spots was Deepwater Point, the northern tip of St. Andrews State Park that every boat in the lagoon must pass in order to reach the Gulf. They began experimenting with surfing these wakes that were turning into legit waves when they hit just the right shore. Local Grom Aiden Gorman found out about the secret and started making a point out of being on Deepwater Point when the Seascreamer was making a trip. He made some, he skimmed some, and he paid the price on some. Aiden started reaching out to Ben Gravy, the surfing YouTube phenomenon, who loves to seek out the most promising novelty waves wherever they may be found. Timing never really worked out, but on Sunday, March 19th, I was in the right place at the right time to be able to witness the next chapter in this saga. I was playing violin at Taproom, and it was cold. I had like 0 audience. I was streaming on Facebook to share with a bit more of an audience. And unbeknownst to me, it was Captain Cody's birthday, and he just so happened to have his birthday at Taproom that night. I was taking a quick break talking to Zach about surfing when all of a sudden Cody made his appearance.
I got something to talk to y'all about.
Oh.
So
I didn't do it.
no, it's good news. Today on my Instagram story, I tagged Ben Gravy and I did a video.
Are you serious?
My Deepwater Point barrel that we make behind the Seascreamer, and he messaged me back. And he's going to come tomorrow.
Are you
He's in
kidding?
Pensacola, and he's going to come scurf with us on the Seascreamer.
And just like that, it was violin that got my ticket punched for a front row seat to what really is, I'm not joking, a historic moment in the history of Bay County surfing. So I really liked Ben Gravy. He was down to earth. I asked him if I could release our footage for the surf shop, and if he wanted us to wait, when it would be okay. He said post whenever. I pearled on his board and felt like I probably buckled the thing, and he wasn't bothered at all. He even gave a board to Zach's son, Kai, who was so stoked to be able to meet his hero. I was also impressed by how he ran his production. Classic YouTube is really about the agile 1 to 3 person at most team. That's what vlogging really is. It's not meant to be a show. It's meant to be run and gun cinema verite, the director shooting and performing and producing all simultaneously. Ben has a professional shooting shooter JT, who did a phenomenal job on the shoot, and I imagine on the edit as well, but I was impressed seeing Ben's footage and his hands-on approach. He is still a dyed-in-the-wool YouTuber. With 3 people, Ben, JT, and Ben's wife Jordan, they made a killer show. I mean, it's a vlog that's almost 30 minutes long, but it really is almost like a reality show made by 3 people, and they cut this thing in less than 24 hours. Most of that time while on the road or in the water. The turnaround time was insane. They also had the moral support of their newest addition, the always lovable Dennis. And the surf world noticed because his Instagram reel breaking the story received almost 200,000 likes. It helped that the water that morning was so beautiful, but Ben deserves all the credit for finding this wave, and that's the thing that really impressed me about him. The rest of us were enamored with that barrel at the top of the point. I brought a tiny bodyboard, and I was just going to try to get a brief tube view before the barrel raced off. But Gravy figured it out immediately. With his experience with novelty waves, he knew the first order of business was to master catching and navigating a long ride, not just securing a quick takeoff. And as far as the day itself, it happened to be my day off, so I was privileged enough to be present for the whole day. I even made the final cut of the Gravy vlog. The water was so clear and beautiful, the manatee was an unexpected good omen, and we even got to surf the Seascreamer boat wake out in the Gulf. Gravy hammed it up, riding the double wake between the 2 Seascreamer boats, and the crowd went wild for him and Justin. Captain Cody's wife, Cortland, was out on the state park pier and had a great idea, having Gravy give a shot at shooting the pier on the Seascreamer wake. And he did it, first try. 2 times in a row, as a matter of fact. Walton County water photographer extraordinaire Jonah Allen was demonstrating the prowess of the foil on Seascreamer wake. I grew up on this beach in particular, so it was particularly fun witnessing surfing on an otherwise flat day in this insane electric blue water. And on the way back, I was able to catch Seascreamer wake for the first time and surf it as a proper wave. Just a surreal day overall. But the real takeaway from this whole saga is that now the gauntlet has been laid. A 1 minute and 20-second ride at Seascreamer Point. Can we match Ben Gravy's record? Suffice it to say, Captain Cody and the whole Seascreamer team, along with a number of locals and curious adventurers from far and wide, have been going back into the lab to see what other wonders the Seascreamer has on offer in the future. But I really have to thank Ben Gravy for being the first to tap into the potential and demonstrate the possibilities of something that we are only now realizing is more than just another run-of-the-mill novelty wave. Thanks to Ben and thanks to Seascreamer for keeping this tale going. There's much more to come in this unfolding saga in the upcoming months, so stay tuned. Later that week, we hosted an event to show Gravy's vlog at the Barista Bar with some of mine and Justin Buxton's extra behind-the-scenes footage. Karen, Melissa, and Satya made the guests feel at home, and my boss, John, cooked up hot dogs and hamburgers. It was a great way to commemorate a truly unique occasion in the history of Bay County surfing. As far as other surf news, March continued to be relatively consistent. The big day was March 4th. I did a strike mission with Rhett and tested out my new Samsung Galaxy S23 phone. The big day, with over a 7-second period, didn't quite deliver ideal conditions, but gave us some challenging sections to navigate and allowed me to study Rhett's approach while I tested out the Galaxy's camera. Jesse Lewis got this great shot of one of my surf vlog's bucket list waves, what surf buddy Andy Barnhart and I have started calling bombshells, coined by Melissa, the outside of the state park. Me and Andy have been trying to catch it all time for a long time. Good to see it still doing its thing on the right size and period, but we really need a few more seconds and 8 more feet. And then there was skating. I started easing back into it with sessions at Ernie's ramp with Tate, Ken, Coleman, Dylan, Austin, and even the man himself, Ernie. I was still feeling a bit stiff and ungainly, but I was kissing coping again, so I was making a little progress. Coleman had a really rough ankle injury last year at this very park, and he's been battling to get back to where he was before, and he was making tons of progress. And then Austin showed up. On Tuesday, March 14th, I finally faced my fear and skated Clint's ramp again. Taylor Pecori captured the moment well when she posted this on Instagram. I was a nervous wreck. But I did get to meet Tallahassee Ripper Brandon Cole. It was good to see Paco skate again. And this is the first time I remember skating with Tripp, though I'm sure we've met before. Since the new park opened, Tripp has been probably the most consistent skater in the pool. He's always one of the crew. On the 16th, we met up again at Clint's ramp and grilled hot dogs and hamburgers to commemorate the first big occasion that March was to bring us, the finishing of the skate park, which we were shocked to find out was happening the very next day, Friday, March 17th. We skated, ate, drank, and amped for the new park. It was a reunion of sorts, skating with Chaz and Braden, and witnessing as Tim Payne offered to pay out to Paco for a completed trick.
We need all the money we can get. Round it up.
We need all the money we can get.
Come on.
You're like his promoter. And
Yeah, come on.
Come on, $10.
Yeah. Yeah, Pop. We got 10. We got 10.
The next morning, Tate, Ken, Mark Akiyama, and me got the privilege to skate the bowl for the first time. I sucked and was as scared as ever. My first drop-in was dangerous. So I settled into watching the guys who built it teach me a lesson. Hunter was boosting, Zach was boosting, grinding, and just about everything. Will was frontside carving so fast in the shallow end to set up more speed for an attempt at a ho-ho off the deep end. And this dude Luke was skating the sketchiest, loosest trucks I've ever seen in person at a pool. It was an insane privilege to be able to see this in person, and witnessing their approaches has helped me so much in establishing the one line I keep doing over and over. This little pool is so small, but its compact size makes the speed for you. And when I get one good run, the sense of speed I get makes me feel like I'm surfing like nothing else, truly buzzing off of this thing. The next few months were a comedy of errors and miscommunications when it came to official rules about when the park could be skated, but we skated there a lot. In March, skimboarding took a backseat because it was still cold, my Victoria was still broken, and my Panama Jack wooden skimboard was still too threatening to me after my wipeout in February. But Skim Jam was coming up in April, so tune back in next month for more skim motivation. Well, the surf vlog is longer than usual, but March was an insane month. Until next time, keep it consistent, even if the surf isn't, and take it from Ben Gravy because it's worth it for the dream. To see these videos early, without ads, join the lineup here on YouTube. You just need a YouTube account, and for $1.99 a month, you click this little join button and sign up to get early and ad-free access to 4 monthly vlogs: the surf vlog, the Masala vlog, the violin vlog, and the family vlog. Thank you very much.